Hello friends, again I'm here continuing with our discussions related to group behavior. So this is group behavior part third. So in this session we will be talking about group structure, the group norms, group roles, okay, etc, etc. So let us start. Uh, Firstly, what is a group structure, right? So group structure is an underlying pattern of roles and norms and networks of relationships among members that define and organize the group. Like when we are in a group, uh, it's more than two people, okay? So obviously if there are five people, six people, so they have underlying a set pattern, okay? They have different roles to play and they have different network of relations, okay? So all these together are defined as a group structure. Now in group structure there are two things, roles and norms. So what are group norms? As the word says, group norms are the informal guidelines of behavior and a code of conduct that provides some order and conformity to group activities and operations. Like when we are in a group, we have to some certain code of conduct is defined for that group. Like we have suppose a group of youngsters, okay, who are fun loving and who are very good, having very good skills of let's say dance or like creative skills, okay? So they define their own code of conduct for themselves. So in this case every group has certain kind of code of conduct which are called as norms, and on the basis of these code of conduct they operate. For examples, it can be allow constructive in within a group, these norms can be defined: allow constructive silence, be self-aware, okay, then celebrate the accomplishments. If somebody has won some award or something, so it should be celebrated. And honor expertise means anybody is expert or skilled at something, so they should be honored, they should be given respect. So these can be some examples of the norms or code of conduct for any group. Now coming on to group roles. What are roles? The word role refers to how a person will behave and what function they will perform within the group, okay? Each and every person is given some role, okay, some kind of what do you say, guideline to go with the group, okay? So let us see what can be these. There are four fundamental roles to consider. First is leader and facilitator, arbitrator and monitor. Third can be note taker or timekeeper, and last is devil's advocate. For larger groups, some of these roles can be divided. So let us talk about them one by one. So first is what is a facilitator? Facilitator or a leader is a person who helps a group or a team to achieve results in an interactive way, right? By using a range of skills and methods, okay? He believes and he goes with the group by one goal, that is to get the best out of the group mates, okay? How to focus on the processes, okay, of how to focus on the different kind of people and their talent. So that is the case with the facilitator or the leader, okay? Now second kind of role is arbitrator. As the word says, arbitrator has the authority to make decision about the dispute. Arbitration is a noun which is defined as a private process where disputing parties agree that one or several individuals can make a decision about a dispute after receiving evidence and hearing arguments. So arbitrator is a person who gives, like if there is a dispute between two people in the group, so arbitrator will have the authority to to come talk to these two parties about the differences and just make them resolve that dispute, okay, and come to a consensus, form a consensus, means both the parties should agree on one point, that okay, we agree on this, and now in the future we will not have differences, there will be no conflict between us. So arbitrator is a person like you can say a judge in the judiciary, okay, who solves disputes between people, okay. Then note taker or timekeeper, as the word says, is a person who notes down the points discussed in different meetings and the issues resolved, how they were resolved. So that is also a role. Now last one is the devil's advocate. It is actually very different kind of role, but it is these kind of people are found in each and every group. So let us talk read what this is. If you haven't figured this out already, to put it in simple language, it's a technique used by the individual or group playing a role of devil's advocate to put an effective counter argument on the original argument, statement or plan. In other words, to cook your plan in infernal fire to test its viability. So it is like the person who spoils, who believes in just putting some spice into the dispute, spice into the conflict, and making the dispute more heated, okay, making the arguments more heated. So he is obviously a devil's advocate who want the people to counter argue over other things also, and obviously this kind of person will always cook his own plan, plot his own plan, how to spoil the unity of the group, how to spoil the conformity of people, okay. So this is a person who is is most dangerous person and the most dangerous role which is played by a person, okay. So let us come to the techniques of group decision making, okay, how group decisions are taken in a group. The first technique is Delphi, okay, second one is brainstorming, third one is decision tree, and the fourth one is nominal group technique. So let us discuss them one by one in brief. So first one is Delphi technique. Delphi technique is when a number of expert people from different departments, they sit together, okay, and they how they do it, they solve a problem by following this process. They will first start, they will define the research questions, means they will define what are the questions which have for which we need answer, we require answer of which questions, okay. They will select a panel, they will select a number of expert people who can who have the ability to answer these questions. Then they will design a survey, okay, they will design some questionnaires, okay, and these questionnaires will be surveyed, will be conducted in the organization, or if it is an informal group, so these surveys will be conducted in the social gatherings, in the social circle, okay, with the people, and lastly they come to a consensus and summarize a conclusion. So this is the Delphi technique. Now coming on to nominal group technique. Nominal is the same as Delphi, but there is some difference, okay. So in this, what happened, the team assembles, they open the session and they silently brainstorm ideas, okay. They sit together and think about different ideas, that what can be the ideas to solve a particular problem or to come to something productive, okay. They present and record these ideas, clarify and prioritize. They give prioritize means to give importance to the things which needs to be given importance on the first stand, okay. So they clarify and prioritize ideas, and then they use it for the next phase. So this is how a group nominal group technique process goes. Now after this we have now let us talk about one example. I have got an example of how a nominal group technique process will be taken care of. The problem here is lot of return mobile phone by customer. In a mobile shop, the customers are returning mobiles, okay, and it is number of customers, many number, like a good number of customers are returning the mobile. This is a problem. Now these employees, they are sitting together, okay, 1 2 3 4 5, they are sitting together and they are brainstorming and thinking about what can be the reasons of this. So first employee comes out with the answer that might be mobile software is not good, okay, touch screen is not good, employee 2 customer is not liking the hardware, employee 3 is thinking that mobile design is old fashioned, okay, not trendy, then employee 4 is saying that mobile heats up very early, and employee 5 is saying that battery life is just, it's okay. So these are the different kind of ideas, okay, that are coming. So these are the reasons. So obviously these particular answers, responses can help that mobile shopkeeper or the mobile shop owner to find out the solutions, okay. He can really literally work on these points and come out with a good solution to improve the sales and to stop this, okay. Now after that we come to brainstorming. As you all know, brainstorming, a storm comes into the brain, means we just think about the things. Let us see how it goes. First is a direction is set, that in this direction you have to think, okay. Then everybody will stay focused, everybody will be involved, okay. You can give all your wild ideas, out of the box ideas, okay. Then you can suspend the judgment also and allow repetitions, means repeated ideas can also be told, and in the last these ideas are displayed. So this is what is called as brainstorming, means thinking out of the box. Thinking means till a storm comes into your brain, right? Okay. Now after that we come to decision tree. So a decision tree is a flowchart like tree structure where each internal node denotes a test on an attribute, each branch represents an outcome, means result of the test, and each leaf node holds a class label. So let us see the example. Here the example is about an employee, okay. What decision he will take? He has to take a decision to stay, which kind of flat he should take, okay. So first is number of family members. If it is greater than 3, okay, yes. So again there will be a set of questions, but let us come to no, means the family members is less than 3. Let us say the family members are 2 including that employee, and his salary is greater than 80,000, okay. So obviously he can buy a 4 BHK apartment, okay, or he can take a rented 4 BHK apartment. But here if his salary is not greater than 80,000, it is less than 80,000, and is married, okay. So obviously if he is married and salary is less, so expenses are there, so he will go for a 3 BHK, okay. But in case he is not married, his salary is less than 80,000 but he is not married, so obviously he is single, so 2 BHK will work, okay, will do. So that is the thing, how decisions are taken. Now come to this one. If the number of family members is greater than 3 and he is married, okay, so he will take a 3 BHK. But if the number of family members is 3, he is married, but he is not married and his salary is greater than 40,000. So obviously he will go for 2 BHK. But if the salary is still less than 40,000, so he will go for a 1 BHK. So this is how decisions are taken, okay, in different through different kinds of techniques. Even in your real life you can use this techniques, okay, and these can be very helpful if you understand them. Okay, so earlier I had discussed about group nominal and Delphi technique. There are some differences between these two. They are not the same. In Delphi technique, Delphi starts with the word D. D means distance. Okay, so in Delphi technique, there is participants are physically distant, means they are away from each other. Okay, and the communication is through written questionnaire, okay, and with feedback from monitoring staff. They are not sitting near each other, they are away from each other, means there is distance. So you can remember it with the word D, distance. Now in nominal group technique, participants sit face to face, okay, around the table, and the communication is going on directly between them upon a problem, upon a topic. So this is the difference between these two. So that's it for today. Hope you